What's up, everybody? What's going on? Hope you're having a good Wednesday, late afternoon here. This show is my show about TNA. Title, What's Wrong with TNA? Question mark. What's wrong with TNA? Well, I'm going to give some of my opinions and the top 5 reasons on what is really wrong with TNA, and they're not good reasons. This video, to some that are big TNA fans, I still watch TNA every week, and I've been a fan since they started in June 2002. I will admit that at the end of 2015, around October, in November and December, I stopped watching TNA totally. I just stopped because that stupid world title series was going on and I couldn't take watching it anymore. And plus, the tapings of the world title series were like 4 months old, or 4 or 5 months old, taped 4 months ago. So that was pretty stupid. Anyways, this might sound like, to TNA fans, if you're watching this might sound like I'm bashing TNA. I don't mean it to sound like I'm bashing them because I still watch them every week on Impact on Pop. I started watching TNA again in January. So, I have a right, as a wrestling fan and as a longtime TNA fan, I have a right to give my opinions on what is wrong with their company, in my opinion. So I'm going to give those reasons now. First, the best years of TNA were probably 2006 until probably 2011, in my opinion. Even though they did some good stuff, still in 2012 and 13, and even 2014 they did some good stuff. I mean, EC3 debuted in, I think, 2014, and he's been great. He's a top guy, in my opinion. He's the number 1 guy in TNA, because AJ's gone, Sting's gone, a lot of guys are gone. But I'm not bashing the talent. I love the talent that is in TNA. They bust their ass for us fans. Last night's Lockdown was a pretty good show. Every single wrestler on that show tried pretty hard to put on a good match and put on a good show for the fans in London or the fans in the UK. Lockdown was pretty good. I enjoyed it. Even the knockouts, they tried very hard and they put on a good cage match. So, I don't mean this to sound like a bashing of TNA. I'm not talking about the talent. I am not bashing the talent at all. I love the talent. I hope they can keep getting paid, and I hope they still have a job in TNA in 1 or 2 years. Or 3 years. I don't know how long TNA is going to go. Maybe 3 more years, maybe longer. I don't know. Or maybe 2 years. So, first thing, as I said, 2006 probably to 2011 were their best years, but when EC3 came in, they started getting better. And Rockstar Spud debuted with them, or shortly after EC3, Rockstar Spud came in, and he's a great talent. I love that guy. Anyways, the thing that happened, one of the reasons what's wrong with TNA, no Jeff Jarrett backstage anymore. Jeff Jarrett is not involved in TNA. He's not involved at all, so he can't really get involved until Dixie would probably listen to Jeff when he was there. And Jeff knows a lot more about the wrestling business than Dixie. Dixie is described by Vince Russo as someone that doesn't want to make her own decisions. that she never, ever, ever wanted to make her own decisions in TNA. So she would keep bringing in people. After Jeff Jarrett was already gone and I think sent home by Dixie and told to stay home, and then they kept paying Jeff, I guess, and she didn't want him back in the company anymore in a management spot. So basically where Jeff would have zero power. So Jeff has been off TNA for at least 3 years, but he did return last summer for like a one night deal to show up at Slammiversary. So Dixie doesn't like to make her own decisions, yet she wants to run her own wrestling company. To me, that makes no fucking sense, and that's really stupid of her, that she can't make her own decisions. I'm sure Vince McMahon makes his own decisions, and he has been for decades. But Vince McMahon, you can't compare Vince to Dixie because Vince is way, way, way smarter. And Vince has been a success. His company has been a huge success, and TNA has not been. The only time they were a success and probably made any profit was 2006 to 2011, I'll say. So Dixie gets rid of Jeff Jarrett. That was not a good move because she basically wanted him out of TNA, and he still owned a part of TNA, but I think he sold his part in TNA now. I think he sold it all, and he has no involvement in TNA or no ownership. So Dixie gets rid of Jeff. That was a bad idea. And she had Vince Russo as her head writer for years and years after Jeff was gone. That didn't work. Even though I think sometimes Vince Russo and TNA probably did some good. I mean, I think he did more bad than good as being the head writer. Anyways, because Vince Russo outside of WWF and working with Vince McMahon, Vince Russo, in my opinion, has not succeeded. WCW, when he was there, they failed, and he failed. WCW, he took them down, way downhill, and basically killed them because his stupid decisions that he did, like put the world title on David Arquette, give himself the world title in a Doomsday Cage match on Nitro. He walked out with the world title, which was pretty pathetic and stupid and sad. Russo had pushed guys that really nobody cared about, like, what was their name? Chuck Palumbo, Sean O'Hare, Mike Sanders. I forget the name of their group. It might have been something Thrillers or something Thrillers. I don't remember the name because they weren't memorable. And he just did a lot of stupid shit in WCW that basically killed it and turned fans away of WCW. They turned their longtime WCW fans, Russo, turned them away. So then he goes to TNA for years and years, and basically he didn't do anything that great ever in TNA that made me really want to say TNA was better than WWE. Even though at that time, I think 2008 or 9, maybe to 2010, I thought TNA was better than WWE product-wise, but that was only for 2 years. So she gets rid of Jeff. That was a bad idea. And then after she saws Russo working as a head writer, and that didn't really work. And then she brings in guys to run talent relations, be the head of talent relations, and run the company. First she brought in Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan to begin 2010. That didn't work. That was a failure. Even though I like Bischoff and I liked seeing Hogan in TNA because I'm a Hogan fan, but that didn't work. Dixie giving Bischoff and Hogan all that power did not work. And Hogan and Bischoff probably really played Dixie and just got a huge payday and played her and told her what they were going to do with TNA. But that didn't work. So, in my opinion, Dixie and Bischoff, Hogan and Bischoff, because they know how to play people, because they've been in the business so long, they play Dixie because she is really naive and pretty stupid about the wrestling business. So Hogan Bischoff did not work. Then she brings in, I think, to run TNA, I don't know what he was, if he was head writer or head of talent relations, I don't know. But she brings in Bruce Pritchard, longtime WWE employee, worked closely with Vince for years and years. Bruce Pritchard, I'm sure, had some good ideas and has a good mind for wrestling, but he did not work. So Dixie got rid of him. And then Dixie now brings in the former guy that started Tough, or was involved in the first, second, third seasons of Tough Enough, John Gaborik. I think that's his last name, John Gaborik, whatever his name is. I don't really care. Then she brings in John, and he's still there, I believe, in TNA as head of talent relations. Well, I don't think he's very smart, because the decisions, I mean, since he's been there, TNA has lost 2 TV deals. They lost Spike TV and they lost Destination America. And Billy Corgan is still there also. I think he's a writer on the creative team. He may even be the head writer. I don't know. But if Billy Corgan got himself to be the head writer, good for him. He played Dixie. I'm pretty sure he played her like a fiddle. And she listened to everything he told her. And Dixie, again, gave Billy Corgan probably the keys to TNA to be the head writer because she doesn't want to make her own decisions. Other bad things and what's wrong with TNA. As I said, the head writer, Billy Corgan, I'm sure the guy has some good ideas, and maybe he's been part of coming up with the Rosemary Decay group and storyline. Maybe he came up with that. That's a pretty decent idea. Rosemary, pretty good character, so maybe came up with that. But hiring Bruce Pritchard was stupid, and that was bad. Hiring Hogan and Bischoff was stupid and bad. And Dixie just kept wasting and keeps wasting her parents' money. For some reason, her parents must have millions and millions and millions of dollars that they keep letting Dixie take their money and waste it because they're not getting any money back. TNA, in my opinion, is not making any profit except off their UK tours and probably their TV deal with Pop. Hopefully they get paid for that, for giving Pop television. Hopefully they're getting paid for putting on Impact on Pop. And if they're not getting paid by Pop and they're paying Pop, then they're stupid as hell. And that's the stupidest TV deal ever to agree to, if Dixie agreed to go on Pop and pay them just to get TV time. That'll put you out of business real fast if you're paying a TV network to put on your wrestling and you're not even getting 1 million viewers. And you can't make any money off commercials, or nobody wants to advertise during TNA because you don't get big ratings. That's just my opinion. So then, what was I saying? Anyways, they're only making money, in my opinion, off their UK tours and maybe Pop TV and the website TNAshop.com, or TNA, I think it's called TNAshop.com or whatever it's called. I know WWE's website is WWEshop.com. I don't know what TNA's merchandise website is called, but I know they have one, and they probably do make some money off that. Hopefully they make some money every month from people ordering some stuff. Even though I don't think TNA puts out that many t-shirts, that many new t-shirts that often. And they really don't really put out many DVDs at all. They could put out a lot of DVDs and best of the Asylum years, but they don't. Instead, they put the best of the Asylum on their YouTube channel for free. Instead, they should make that a couple DVDs and people would probably buy those. But instead, stupidly, I guess they want people to go to their YouTube channel because to watch it for free, the Asylum years. Instead, they should be making DVDs and trying to make some money off the Asylum years by putting out DVDs. So, what else is wrong? Russo, he's been a big problem at TNA in my opinion. I mean, with him in power, yeah, they were on Spike for a long time, and TNA was getting over 1 million viewers probably the entire time Russo was there, but big deal. I think the guy did more harm than good. And I don't think Russo is that smart. I don't think he's stupid, but I mean, some of the things he says is stupid, but I don't think he's that stupid of a guy. It's just he's not very good working without Vince McMahon. And Dixie, I'm sure, let Russo do whatever he wanted, and Russo probably played Dixie also, and she listened and agreed to give him whatever he wanted because, again, Russo was in the business longer and knew how to play Dixie, and she probably didn't think he was playing her. Other things that are bad. First off, they couldn't stay on Spike TV because of, I think, an email controversy, or Dixie by accident, or maybe this email was sent to some executive running Destination America. Dixie, I sent them some email, I believe, and she was talking about Vince Russo in it, or maybe this was at Spike when they were on Spike. Spike TV did not want Vince Russo working for TNA anymore. They didn't want Russo anywhere near TNA. And I think Spike found out Russo was talking to Dixie still as like a consultant, giving Dixie advice about the show every week. And Spike found out and got really pissed and basically probably decided to not re-sign TNA and let them go. And it's been bad ever since TNA went off Spike, because Spike had 90 million, Spike is in 90 million homes, and then they go to Destination America and they last 1 year. And Destination America wanted to get rid of TNA probably within the first 6 months they were on Destination America, because TNA could not bring in decent big ratings. Like, they couldn't even draw over 500,000 people. And advertising commercials did not want to advertise during TNA, so Destination America could not make any money off TNA because they couldn't have any advertising. And another thing, in my opinion, TNA will never go back to being like neck and neck with WWE, or probably even the number 2 company. Even though you could say they are the number 2 company because TNA is on cable TV still, and Ring of Honor is not. But I don't think TNA can ever go back to being on Monday nights, because not under Dixie Carter, they're not going to get back on Monday nights to compete, because they get killed. Even though Raw's ratings are down, TNA would get absolutely destroyed if they tried to go back on Monday nights head-to-head with Raw. Even if TNA went head-to-head with Raw for 1 hour. If it was only 1 hour, TNA, in my opinion, would still get killed. So maybe they could go back on Monday nights if Dixie Carter leaves TNA and sells TNA. then maybe they could get back on Monday nights under somebody new that has a brain. Also, bad things. What's wrong with TNA that hurt them? As I said, I do not see them going back on Monday nights ever, unless Dixie leaves or sells her company, sells TNA. And her parents, I don't understand her parents, why they keep giving her money every year, probably pumping in tons of money, millions into TNA. Dave Meltzer, the wrestling reporter, he reported that, I read this, that TNA, in I think it's 12-year history or something like that, maybe the last 4 or 5 years of TNA, they have lost $200 to $400 million. That's way more than WCW ever lost. I mean, WCW in the early 90s was losing a lot of money, and they were not making any money until Bischoff took over in 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99. WCW is probably still making a lot of money. They're making a profit until probably the end of 99 or 98. I don't know, but I do know that WCW made a big-time profit in 97 when they were $10 million over profit. So good for Bischoff. And Nitro really helped getting WCW to start making a profit, because a lot of big crowds were coming to Nitros in 97 and 98. And even at the end of 96, big crowds were showing up at Nitros. So, Dixie and TNA, I think they're in debt of probably over $200 to $400 million that they've lost. At least that's what I read. So I think that's probably true. And I don't know why her parents got to be really, really stupid, or they just keep listening to Dixie, and because she begs them for more money and keeps begging them, we need money, we need money, we need money. And her stupid parents keep giving her money. For what? They're not making a fucking profit. TNA's not a success. The only reason you could say they're a success is because they're on cable TV. That's it. And they draw in the UK. That's also it. And they have some overseas TV deals that supposedly TNA was number one in the UK on the channel they were on. That they were number one over there, and TNA was even beating the WWE over there, which I don't believe anymore that they're beating WWE, but maybe they are in the ratings in the UK. I don't know, but that's just really hard to believe that TNA is still beating the WWE overseas in ratings. I doubt that, but maybe it's true. But if I was her parents, I would cut her off. I'd cut her ass off and say, just give up TNA, give this thing up. It's not working, Dixie. It is not working. You have not made any profit. Like how many years she's been running TNA. She came in, I think, in 2004 or 2003. And I don't think TNA's ever made a big profit at all. Maybe they made some profit, but not much. So if I was her parents, I'd say you're cut off. You got to sell TNA, because I'm no longer giving you money to just take my money and throw it down the toilet. Throw it down the drain. That's what Dixie's parents are doing. They are taking their money, giving it to Dixie, and it's going down the drain because they're not making a fucking profit. Hopefully TNA is, with their TV deal on Pop. In their UK tour, I'm sure they made good money from the paid attendance. They can't make money in the US because barely anybody shows up to their shows, which is sad. But that's the truth. Less than probably 500 people show up to every single TNA taping in the US. And maybe out of those 500, maybe none of them even pay to get in. Maybe they all get free tickets. I don't know. So, losing AJ Styles and losing Sting did not help. That hurt TNA. In my opinion, it hurt TNA a lot. And that's what's wrong with them. AJ's gone and Sting is gone. I mean, Sting was on TNA full time for like at least 6 or 7 years or 8 years. He was on TNA full time. Did he help? Did he help TNA make a profit? No, but you can't put that all on Sting. He tried his best. He did some great things in TNA. He did some great work. His Joker Sting, the Joker Sting, that was great. He did that to perfection. That was a great character. So Sting tried very hard, kept coming back to TNA every year because Dixie would beg him to stay. Sting tried his hardest. You cannot put that on Sting, that TNA was not a huge success when he was there. It wasn't Sting's fault. It was Dixie's fault, in my opinion, and Russo. And Dixie's stupid decisions to not make her own decisions, to put other people in power like Hogan, Bischoff, Bruce Pritchard, Russo, and now John Gaborick and Billy Corgan. And I don't blame Dixie really for putting other people in control because she wouldn't know what the hell to do anyways. If she made her own decisions, she would not know how to write an entire wrestling show and book it. She just would not know how to do that because she hasn't been in the business long enough. And I don't think Dixie Carter was ever a big wrestling fan where she could actually, from being a wrestling fan for decades, some of them can book. I know I can book a show, but Dixie I don't think was that big of a fan, so she could probably never book, and she could never be a successful booker if she tried. So, top 5 reasons now is what's wrong with TNA. Number 5, no more monthly pay-per-views on live Sunday nights. No more live Sunday pay-per-views every month. That's not good in my opinion. Yes, they still have a pay-per-view deal where TNA produces pay-per-views every month, but they're not live and they're not on Sunday nights. They're taped. They're one-night only series. It's not a live pay-per-view, folks, and it's not on Sunday. That hurts TNA. And that's one of the top 5 reasons what's wrong with TNA is no more monthly live Sunday night pay-per-views. I guess they decided to cut that out 2-3 years ago because they couldn't afford to run live Sunday pay-per-views anymore. Well, that's pretty sad and pathetic. But TNA claimed the pay-per-view business was dying anyway. And I kind of agree with that. I mean, for WWE fans, if you still order a pay-per-view, you're an idiot because you can get the network for $9.99. So there's no reason ever for a WWE fan, there's no reason to ever order a WWE pay-per-view on pay-per-view. There's no reason to order a $55 pay-per-view anymore when you have the network. And if you do that, you're a fucking idiot. Number 4 reason. TV deal. They lost their TV deal with Spike and Destination America, and now they're on Pop TV. The problem with Pop TV is it's not available in that many homes unless you pay an extra fee and get like a sports package and ask your cable provider if they have Pop TV and that you want to pay for them every month. I get Pop TV probably because I have a big sports package where I get a lot of channels. So Pop TV is one of those channels, even though it's not a sports channel. But going off Spike and losing Destination America, that really hurt them. Now they're on Pop TV and they're not even watched by 400,000 people every week, which is pretty sad because Lockdown, as I said, Lockdown 2016 was a good show. And every single wrestler on that show tried really hard and busted their ass. So TNA fans that are past, old TNA fans that stopped watching, you should start watching again because Lockdown was pretty good, and give TNA a chance on Pop TV. And if you don't get Pop TV, well, then try to watch TNA on the internet on a wrestling stream site. Try to find it. So, number 3 now. My number 3 reason what's wrong with TNA. Bad lead announcer. Bad lead commentator. You know who I'm talking about. His name is Josh Matthews. That guy sucks. He is your lead play-by-play guy. I guess you could call him play-by-play guy. He is bad. He's awful. He screams a lot. Sometimes he bitches and cries like a little bitch and screams like a little girl. I'm not a fan of Josh Matthews in TNA. I wish they'd get rid of him and bring back Mike TNA. I'd rather have Mike TNA and the Pope working together than hearing Josh Matthews. He is bad. He's god-awful. He's a really bad on commentator. In WWE, I could take Josh Matthews because he was controlled under Vince and what to say and how to act. But in TNA, Josh Matthews is super, super annoying, and I don't like the guy. And he blocked me on Twitter, so F you, Josh Matthews. All I said was that he sucked and he was annoying on commentary, and the guy blocked me. He's a little bitch. And he cries and screams, and he's a bad play-by-play guy for TNA. So Josh Matthews is the number 3 reason why what's wrong with TNA is Josh Matthews is number 3. Number 2 is bad, very bad promotion. TNA doesn't know how to promote. They really never have, except when they were on Spike TV. Spike TV did a good job of promoting TNA, that they were actually coming on every Thursday night. So on Spike really helped them with promotion, and now that TNA's on Pop and Destination America, there's like no promotion. I saw one commercial for Impact on Pop. One commercial during Raw back in January. Since then, there's been 0 commercials for TNA on other channels. 0 commercials for TNA on Pop during Raws. They stopped running those commercials, I guess, because Pop doesn't want to pay to run another commercial every week on USA Network, which is pathetic. They should be to help TNA. And TNA should wake up, and Dixie should get some goddamn money to promote her company. Because I would have to say 85-90%, or at least 75% of wrestling fans don't even know TNA is still around. And 75% of wrestling fans don't even know what network TNA is on. And probably don't even care where TNA is on. Because the fans don't try to find you on Pop because they probably don't even know you still exist. Because you don't promote. You don't push your company. You don't promote it. Who's ever in TNA management? Don't they ever bring this up to Dixie Carter that you gotta fucking promote TNA on other channels? Go on try to get on ESPN radio. Try to get on some ESPN radio shows to promote TNA. Try to fucking promote it anywhere you can. Put out posters. Put out a giant fucking poster ad in fucking Manhattan, in New York City. Put out a giant poster saying Impact is on Spike. Or Impact is not on Spike. Impact is on Pop. Put out some fucking promotion for your goddamn company before you go under. Put out some fucking promotion so people know TNA is on Pop and that TNA is still around, Dixie. You don't promote your company. You don't even try. I mean, yes, you tried in January when I saw one commercial during Raw. Other than that, you don't try. And it's pathetic. If I was in TNA, I swear to God, I would try to promote that company nonstop on radio shows, on TV shows, and put up billboard ads in New York, Chicago, LA. Put up fucking... hand out flyers. Have people that work for TNA hire people to hand out flyers at WWE events every week. Have people hand out flyers, giving out flyers to WWE fans, standing in line at Raws every week. Hand them flyers to let them know that Impact is still around and that Impact is on a new network and that Impact is on Pop. Because you don't promote, you don't know how to promote your damn company, and it's pathetic. And it's sad. You don't know how to promote. And your promotion is non-existent, in my opinion. And it's pathetic. Number one reason what's wrong with your company. You can't draw a crowd. In the United States, you cannot draw audience to go to your house shows. Can't draw a crowd to barely show up at Impact tapings. You cannot draw a crowd anymore in the United States. The biggest crowd you draw is under 1,000 people. That's pathetic because you've been around, whatever it is, 12, 13 years. TNA's been around for 12 or 13 years. Maybe even 14 years. I mean, probably 14 years because they started in 2002. And Ring of Honor also started in 2002, and they have their 14th anniversary pay-per-view coming up. So the number one reason, what's wrong with TNA, they cannot draw at house shows or pay-per-views or their Impact tapings. They cannot draw a decent crowd in the United States to make money. You gotta draw at least 700 to 1,000 people that paid, not got free tickets. They actually had to pay to make a profit. In your house shows that you've tried to run, you've only drawn 400 people, 500 people. That's pathetic. And it's all on you, Dixie. You're to blame. Because you don't promote your company and you have non-promotion. You don't know how to promote. You're not a promoter. You're pathetic at promoting TNA. I don't know why people in that damn company don't tell Dixie you gotta promote TNA on different networks and go on different shows and go on radio shows. Because I guarantee you 75%, even hardcore wrestling fans probably still know TNA's around. But just 75% probably wrestling fans that used to watch TNA that stopped because they don't have Pop and they have no way of watching it except for on the internet or seeing highlights of TNA on their YouTube channel. Well, all those fans stopped watching and just gave up on TNA because your company was run badly. You made a lot of bad decisions. And Dixie, you do not know how to promote your fucking company. That's why you get 500 people at a house show. Because you have bad promotion. And that's the number one reason. You cannot draw a crowd in the United States to go to your pay-per-views, tapings, or house shows. And that's pathetic. And the number two reason, as I said, is bad promotion. The promotion in TNA is non-existent, in my opinion. The only way you would know about TNA and know what network they're on is if you're a hardcore fan. Third reason what's wrong with TNA, Josh Matthews. Number 4 is that your TV deal is not that good with Pop TV because it's not available in most households, unless you pay an extra fee a month, unless you pay an extra monthly fee. And number 5 reason what's wrong with your company is no more monthly live Sunday night pay-per-views. This ends my show. What's wrong with TNA? Maybe some of you will agree with me on my issues, my reasons why I brought up what's wrong with TNA. TNA will never make a profit, in my opinion, until Dixie Carter sells the company and gets out of there. And they'll never be back on Monday night until Dixie gets out of there. That's just my opinion. And I gave my top 5 reasons. If you don't agree, that's fine. Then write comments under this video on what you think is wrong with TNA. Give me thumbs up, comment, subscribe, watch my other videos. Follow me on Twitter at TNA WWE Guy. And why do I still keep that account name? Why do I still have that username as my Twitter? Because I feel loyal to TNA. So that's why I still have TNA WWE Guy. And I have TNA first because, well, I've had it for years. And I don't feel like changing it because I'm loyal. So that's why I don't change it. TNA goes out of business, then I'll probably change my Twitter name. But follow me on Twitter at TNA WWE Guy. Those of you that follow me and watch this, you already know my Twitter account. And at NXT WWE Guy also. I'm there also. I think I'll tweet live from there tonight for NXT. So I'll be tweeting from at NXT WWE Guy tonight for the episode of NXT that comes on tonight, the new episode, even though it was taped. So follow me on Twitter, subscribe, like, or thumbs up my videos if you like them, and comment if you disagree on my opinions on what's wrong with TNA wrestling. Bye for now, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this video.